Yo, what up, niggas? It's Yo Nyaga. Velasco here. Now I know I have two different introductions. I have yo, what up, niggas? And sometimes I say, what up, world? It's Yo Nyaga. So sometimes I confuse them or I even add them both. But let's get to the video. This video is going to be about God and His miracles. Now the reason I want to make this video is I remember a situation when I was 19. When I was 19, I was like a goth kid. Like I always wore black and stuff, and like I always spoke my mind, even more so than now. Always spoke my mind, always. I wasn't no devil worshiper or something stupid, but I was just usually against all the fake bull crap people made up just to make themselves feel better. So I remember one day we were doing extra work, and I was dressed up in my goth attire. And when I'm dressed up like that, I'm real brave. I say whatever's on my mind. And we were at this table just talking, like lunch table, about 6 of us. And this one older black woman, she was talking about a story that happened when she was younger. Basically, some guy she knew very well got into a bad situation. And what happened was, the guy basically got robbed, shot in his head, and he survived. So this is what happened. She's telling the story, then I responded. She was like, yeah, they took his money, then they shot him in the head. But he was in the hospital for like a week or whatever, and he survived. God is good. God is good. God is great. And then I said, wouldn't God be better if he didn't get shot? What? And like everyone stared at me like I was an idiot. But wouldn't God be great if he didn't get shot? I mean, he got shot in the head. Why is God great? Because he survived, Philotchko. Okay, yeah, but he also could have not have been shot in the head for no reason. Wouldn't God be greater if it was like that? Like, a lot of times people say God is great, it kills me. Woman hit by boulder in the shoulder, takes her arm off. God is great. Dude survives with AIDS for 25 years. God is great. Now I understand the logic behind it, but it's just it's a stupid way of thinking. People take any good any situation they see as good. Religious people take any situation they see as good and say God's doing it, and they take any situation they see as bad and it's usually the devil or God has nothing to do with it. Well, let me inform you, sir. If God is everything, He's everything, the good and the bad situations. So the fact that that guy got shot in the head, that's God. The fact that he was in the hospital for a whole week or whatever, struggling, and his life will never be the same, even though he's alive, his life will never be the same, that's God. If I'm following your logic, because God is everything, that's God. So next time someone gets stabbed 200 times and survives, that's God. Not just surviving, but getting stabbed 200 times, that's God. And usually, people attribute miracles to anything that happens rarely that's seen as good. So like, there's a book called Why Doesn't God Heal Amputees? Because a lot of people sometimes, terminal illnesses and all this stuff just happen to disappear. We have some cases of it, but then people just want to say that's God. Yeah, that's like less than 1% that those things happen. What about the 99% that this doesn't happen for? Why does God ignore them? Did they not pray enough? Are they not nice enough? Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all to me. So, let's say 1%. This 1% that God heals is proof of God's greatness. But the 99% that He's ignoring isn't part of His badness. I'm just trying to understand. I may sound stupid, but I'm trying to learn. Now I'm trying to learn. You help me. So, if someone lives for 100 years, God is great, right? Or they live so long, so, oh, you live for like 120 years? God is great, God is great. Okay. What about the babies born with cancer and AIDS and they die when they're like 3 or something? Wouldn't that make God bad? Oh no, but there's an afterlife that you don't know anything about. That's right. An afterlife that a child can imagine. Interesting. Well, I basically am here to say that miracles aren't real. I mean, a lot of things can happen. A lot of things can happen when it comes to, and it's all basic science. I mean, no one says, like, what a lot of people get twisted is like, when someone gets shot and they're paralyzed, they take the doctor saying, you might never walk again, as you will never walk again. A doctor knows they shouldn't say you will never walk again because they're not exactly sure, especially when it comes to the back and stuff. That stuff needs a lot more study. Doctors need to get into that more because they're not too good on that. I mean, they're good, but they're not the best on that. Like, they'd be great on it if it was like a time in which no matter what happens to your back, you could walk again. We would have a much better understanding of the back if that were the case. But that's not the case yet. The back is very... You gotta be careful with your back because it's crazy. You can easily fake shit and all that stuff. Yeah, more study needs to be done on the back. But they take the doctor saying you might never walk again as you will never walk again. So if they happen to walk again, I proved the doctor wrong. First of all, you didn't prove the doctor wrong. The doctor either said you may never walk again or odds are you will never walk again. He knows you might walk again, but the chances are so low, he doesn't want to build up your hope for nothing. So yeah, you walk again, but the other 99 that he said it to aren't walking. You understand? Things do happen. Things happen a little differently than all other situations. And good things, when they happen, these rare things that happen, people say it's a miracle. I can flip a coin all day, all night. But maybe one time while I'm flipping it all night and all day, the coin's going to land on heads 10 times in a row. Is that a miracle? No, it's just rare, but it happens. It can happen. You understand? Doesn't mean God was like, okay, all right, I'm interfering now. Make that land on heads 10 times in a row. No, it just happens, man. It happens, and people understand it can happen. Now, someone would have bet me, hey, let's go. I'll bet you $1,000 that with this regular coin, when I flip it 10 times, it's going to land on heads each time. I'll take that bet. Now, of course, it can happen, but odds are it won't. And I'm going to win that money. I'll take anyone on with that. Like I get to pick the coin. You pick heads or tails, and I flip the coin. If it lands 10 times on the side you chose, I'll give you $1,000. But if you lose, I get $1,000. No one's going to take that bet. Do you know why? Because it's unlikely. So just understand that sometimes unlikely things happen. It has nothing to do with God. It has nothing to do with God. You're just saying it's God just because it's unlikely. Okay? And that's really it. I'm not trying to hurt people's feelings. I'm just trying to help people to think a little bit, I guess. And I'm out. Later.